And thinking about it. Wants to work. Oh, there we are. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Good morning, depending on where you're joining us from across the continent. My name is Jesse Hildebrand. I am with Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants, and we bring conservation, adventure, and science into classrooms around the world. I am so thrilled today to welcome back the amazing team at the Rideau Hall Foundation and their Ingenious Plus campaign across Canada, featuring them for the third year in a row that we are running this incredible innovation celebration coast to coast across the country. We are launching this week. Yesterday, for many of you, if you have French teacher colleagues, you joined us for our French launch. It was a really incredible celebration. I really encourage you to check out our YouTube channel and that of the Rideau Hall Foundation to check it out and learn more. But today we are going to dive in with a little video to explain a little bit about what Ingenious Plus is all about. And then I will turn you over to Jill at the Rideau Hall Foundation to explain more and welcome in our very special guest joining us today from all across the continent. So without further ado, here's a little on Ingenious.
I want to see myself a part of the solutions instead of sitting back waiting for other people to get there.
Everything it wanted to unmute me. There we are. Sorry, folks. Well, thank you very much for that lead-in video, and I'm going to turn it over to Jill to explain a little bit more about what Ingenious Plus is all about, dive in with some more detail on all those things you saw in our clip, and then we are going to lead in with our spectacular trio of speakers today. So without further ado, for the third year in a row, Jill, it's so nice to see you again, and welcome back.
Jesse, what a pleasure. Year 3, here we are. Third time's a charm for sure. And I'm so happy that you're here to usher us in. As Jesse said, I am Jill Clark. I am with the Rideau Hall Foundation, who is so proud to be bringing in the third year of Ingenious Plus, Canada's Youth Innovation Challenge. So if you are passionate about generating solutions to community, Canadian, and global challenges, Ingenious Plus gives youth in Canada aged 14 to 18 the opportunity to innovate for good. So we hear this word tossed around a lot, innovation, but what does innovation actually mean? What is innovation? Well, for us, innovation is simply about doing something better and making an impact. So this includes improving on a product, a service, or a process, or creating something completely new that solves a problem or simply makes the world a better place. So as we saw in the video, there are 5 categories that you can tackle to make the world better through innovation. We have community and civic engagement, climate change in the environment, equity and inclusion, health and well-being, and technology and entrepreneurship. So as you can see, there are no shortage of ways to innovate and no limits to the problems that we can tackle together. So often we think that innovation is technical, scientific, mathematical, and yeah, that's true. But innovation is so much more. It's also social, community-minded, entrepreneurial, health-focused, and compassionate. So you don't have to be a genius in engineering. You just have to want to improve the world around you. And there's no need to go it alone. Our innovators all stress the importance of teamwork and collaboration. So grab some friends, put your heads together, and challenge each other to do something great. This award invites you to present your innovation projects and ideas. And this is your chance to showcase your innovation within an exceptional network of Canada's most successful innovators, some of whom are actually here with us today. So you'll have the chance to win entry into this network, and you'll also have the chance to receive up to $10,000. Mic drop. So submissions are open, as Jesse was saying, as of today, as of yesterday, and they will close as of February 22nd, 2024. So the time to start is now. All the information you need to apply and to receive up to $10,000 is on our website at Ingeniousplus.ca. So please check us out. And the next great Canadian innovator could be you. So without further ado, let's invite our guest speakers to join us and share their innovation stories. So first up, Thivya Jeyapalan is the 2023 Ingenious Plus Equity and Inclusion National Winner. Thivya's innovation, the Key of Sight music program, offers specialized music experience to individuals with disabilities across Canada, ensuring that no one is left behind. Welcome, Thivya.
Hi, Jill. It's so great to be here with you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being with us. Thivya was an incredible part of year 2 of the Ingenious Plus program, one of our national winners, and she was able to come and join us in Ottawa for our ceremony. And we were able to sit down and chat. And I learned so much about the incredible work that Thivya is doing. And I am just dying to share it all with you. So Thivya, give us your elevator pitch for the Key of Sight. What do we need to know?
Absolutely. So thank you so much for mentioning the 5 categories of Ingenious Plus. The one that the Key of Sight focuses on is equity and inclusion. The Key of Sight music program is an online platform that creates specialized catered music education and teaching methods that allow individuals with, for example, visual impairments or those struggling with autism to be able to access music education from their homes without needing the additional supports or having to go out to workshops or these in-person sessions, just being able to learn it within the comfort of their own homes and having those teaching methods available so that they can progress more into more advanced music and kind of learn the entire curriculum.
That's so great. I love hearing this pitch every single time. It never gets old. It always makes me really excited. So tell us a little bit about how Ingenious Plus came to you, how you had the idea to submit the Key of Sight into the Ingenious Plus program.
Yeah, absolutely. So with the development of the Key of Sight, one of the greatest things that I had to definitely consider was the type of supports and aids that I would have to get from the community, other music professionals, and just the people around me in general, because being able to create a platform that is both effective and also accessible for individuals with disabilities is something that's a little bit hard, especially because music is not as prominent in terms of resources. So as I was Googling for more support, I suddenly realized that there was this huge need for me to find an organization that would be supporting young innovators. And to my luck, when I was on Instagram one day scrolling, I found out about Ingenious Plus, and I thought it was great, not just one for the substantial amount of funding that they provide, but also the mentorship in general and being able to join that community of innovators. That was a huge plus point to me when I was considering sending in my application for the Key of Sight. And going through that entire application journey, I realized what great supports that the organization provides and how we as youth are able to use that to kind of develop our own innovations. And when I was doing the application process, that was definitely something that I had in mind, making sure to state out the things that I was looking for. And to my luck, I was able to find out that most of it I was able to get that support throughout my process.
We know that good things can come from Instagram, which is great. I love that. So what's been the impact? So we're kind of like a year out from your winning. What has being an Ingenious Plus national winner meant for you, meant for the community, meant for Key of Sight?
Yeah, it is absolutely great. So my family and I, we immigrated to Canada in 2009. So the place I came from, we came from a village in Sri Lanka, and there's a lot of individuals with visual impairments. And my way kind of out of this new process of coming to a new country was music. So music has been a huge part of my life throughout. And being able to provide the same opportunities for children that maybe have different needs was really big for me. So going in and year out, like I'm able to use this platform and all the connections that I was able to build through it to definitely render this community where we know that individuals that have these disabilities will be able to access the same types of opportunities for music education. More specifically, through the funding, I was able to do my own research onto teaching methods that are best for individuals with visual impairments, and we're looking to launch the first set of modules which have been curated, looked over by institutions like the Canadian National Institution of the Blind, as well as the Royal Conservatory, individuals who are trained in music. All of these connections are really hard to find unless you have this sort of platform that Ingenious Plus was able to provide me.
That's so great. We really see like the impact of what community can do. Like when you're aware of your community, when you engage with your community, and when you like seek to find a community that can help to build you up. So I love that. So what would you say to somebody who has an idea, has, you know, some drive, but maybe is a little unsure of how to proceed or doesn't really know how to go forward, or maybe is looking for a little encouragement? What would you say to last year, Thivya? How would you motivate her to get to where you are today?
I'll be super honest. The best piece of advice that I could give anyone is if you have a great idea, that's already step number one. If you have the motivation and the drive and the passion within you to think of an idea and to be able to identify a problem within our society, that's step one. So great for you. It's awesome that you have this. But now to bring that to life, you need to really drill in component number two, which is initiative. I definitely encourage anyone that is maybe a little bit hesitant to apply to Ingenious to definitely do it, even if you feel like you don't have all the hard skills that you need. For example, I know we were mentioning earlier that some people may not have like the coding experience needed, or they feel like their innovation isn't complex enough. That is totally okay, because the reason that you're coming out here and you're pitching opportunities like this is so that you can find individuals that maybe are better with other things that you might not have as much skill in. But that passion and that drive, nothing can ever replace that. So I strongly believe that applying and being able to find the confidence within yourself, you should always connect it back to your passion. If you think about the impact that you want to make within the world and how you see your idea kind of manifesting in the future, that should be the confidence that you go in with when you're applying to these sort of competitions like Ingenious Plus.
That's like really incredible advice for people of any age. Thank you so much. And I would just like to make the note that Thivya is at school right now. She is a dedicated student as well as an innovator. So I think we just heard the school bell go off. So with that, Thivya, I will say thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for being here and being a part of this incredible community and this network that we're building through Ingenious Plus. And we really are so proud of you, and we cannot wait to see what comes next, because we know whatever you do, it is going to be incredible. So thanks again.
Thank you. Always my pleasure. Bye.
Thanks. Bye. Thank you so much. National winner Thivya Jeyapalan with us. Such an inspiring young person, and really someone who knows no limits and no bounds. So speaking of no limits and no bounds, we have our next guest speaker with us. We are so excited to welcome Melissa Allen, friend of Ingenious Plus, has been so generous with providing mentorship to people not like Thivya, to Thivya, to help get their projects forward and off of the ground. Melissa Allen is the executive director of the League of Innovators, a national charity that empowers the next generation of entrepreneurs. Thank you so much for being with us, Melissa.
Hello. Thank you for having me, Jill, and Ingenious Plus team at Rideau Hall Foundation. I love being here. I love working and having fun with all of you.
Well, good, because now that we've got you, we're never letting you go, Melissa.
No, I'm not letting you all go either.
Absolutely. I'm so glad we agree. Can you tell us a little bit more about League of Innovators, the work that you're doing? Give us the whole spiel.
Absolutely. So executive director of League of Innovators, National Charity Accelerator, and we focus really on youth under 30, typically between 14 to 30. What's neat about what we do is that we're quote unquote like business or industry agnostic, meaning if you want to start a not-for-profit, if you want to start a big, highly scalable tech company with venture funding, we have a program for you. Everybody's welcome, even if you're just at the ideation stage, or whether you're, raising a pre-seed or seed round of venture funding. There's something for you at League of Innovators. And we are a remote team. So we have presence in Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg, Toronto, Ottawa, and Halifax.
So it's a very comprehensive league. No matter where you
Yes.
are, the League of Innovators will find you. I love
And I love that. Thank you. And it's so funny because I know you're waiting for me to say more. And I think, and I will say more, like some of our biggest accomplishments to date, in terms of numbers, is the fact that, 12,000 founders have gone through our programming. We have 1,300 founders in our community on Slack, very active Slack channel. And today we've supported the creation of over $1 billion in enterprise value. So that means when you combine the current valuations of all the companies and startups that have gone through League of Innovators, it values $1 billion, and we're just so proud of that.
that. I mean, yes, you should be. That's correct. That's the correct way to feel, is very proud. That is so incredible. We're so pleased to have you bringing all of that expertise and all of that networking. I know you and I both sing from this same songbook of the power of networking. Tell me a little bit about how young innovators can leverage networks into success.
Absolutely. And this is something that in the last, I say, like mentorship coaching for the winners, but also even on calls I've done for everybody throughout the year with Ingenious Plus, is I really focus on, building your network. And the advantage that you all have is that you're young. So people want to be around your energy. People want to help you. And so what I say is go out there and start sharing your idea, introducing yourself to people, not just people your age, but adults, individuals who are in fields that you're curious or interested in. And I am a firm believer also in the power of sliding into those DMs. Like, it works, so go for it. Because what happens is that having a mentor, having a coach, whether it's informal, whether you're meeting them weekly, monthly, quarterly, is that if they've already done it before, then they can help you shorten that path to success and give you that ongoing feedback, give you the advice, so that you can accomplish a lot more with a lot less time than they did. And that's actually like the whole point of League of Innovators. Is Ryan Holmes, the founder, he, from the time he was 16 years old to his 30s, he was building businesses. He hit his home run success with Hootsuite in his, I think, his later 30s. Don't tell him I told. And he was thinking, when I was a teenager and in my early 20s, I wish I knew then what I know now. And then he's like, you know what? I'm going to start a charity accessible accelerator to help young people coming up shorten their path to success by learning from all of our older folks' mistakes.
That's great. And I promise I won't tell Ryan you told us how old he is. That secret will stay just between all of us. Thivya talked about passion and how important of an ingredient it is when you are trying to get an idea off the ground, trying to get things moving. So tell me about your passion for innovation. What gets you up in the morning? What is the thing that drives you to be an innovator every day?
That's such an amazing question. And I think it's such a great question to start with. Like Simon Sinek, you look him up on YouTube. He's a great teacher of all things business and leadership. And one thing I didn't say yesterday in our French launch that I wanted to say now is that passion, that why, that North Star, we're going to talk about it in future sessions that I'll be hosting, that through all the rough times of starting and continuing and making sustainable your project, that passion, that why, that'll get you through the hard times. That will get you up in the morning because you have a reason beyond yourself, right? Thivya, she articulated it so clearly. And for me, my passion is making, number one, innovation and opportunities in innovation accessible to everybody. I'm a Black woman for oldest daughter of immigrants. And I, from my perspective, I want to make sure that no matter what you look like, no matter who you are, that you have a shot of making massive impact based on what you care about. And then on top of that too, it's really important to me that we all have diverse perspectives that are being accounted for when we're building the innovations and the technologies of tomorrow, right? Because we live in such a technological world that, if technology is only being built by a certain group of people and with not enough diverse perspectives at the table, then the technology that everybody uses every day, it doesn't serve all of us equitably. And so that's the second part of my passion and my why. But really, you can sum it up as accessibility and equity and inclusion.
I think those are pretty great things to be passionate about. And I'm so glad that those are included as categories for Ingenious Plus, because innovation is so much more than, you know, what we typically think in the STEM and STEAM range. It is social, it is compassionate, it is
absolutely
inclusive. Yeah.
100%.
Thank you so much. Like I hope there never comes a day where you say, no, I can't give any more. I don't think you're that type of person, but we are always so grateful for all of your generosity of spirit and of time and of wisdom. So thank you so much for being with us. And we can't wait to see what the league is doing and what you're doing next. We know it's gonna be great.
Oh yeah, this isn't the last that you'll see of me. Don't worry, we're cooking up a lot of projects and presentations together. So see you all soon.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Melissa. Okay, Melissa Allen, Executive Director of the League of Innovators. The train keeps rolling. We have our last, but definitely not least speaker with us today, and we are so fortunate to have him with us. Governor General Innovation Award Laureate Martin Basiri is the founder and CEO of Passage, which enables immigrants and international students by providing financial access, and also the founder and former CEO of Apply Board, which is the world's largest online international student recruitment platform. Martin is driven by his commitment and passion for the mission of educating the world. Martin has also been a great supporter and champion of our Ingenious Plus winners and a very generous giver of advice and encouragement. Martin, hello.
Hi.
It's so nice to see you.
Nice to see you, everyone.
Yes, and you're just as busy as ever.
Always, like, you gotta work.
That's
we don't
right.
have that much time. We gotta go. There are a lot of problems to solve.
And this is what innovation is all about, finding and addressing problems and solving them. So you've heard from Thivya and now from Melissa. What do you think about this whole idea of ideas plus passion plus hard work? Where does your spark for innovation come from?
First of all, every time I attend any of your event and I see people like Thivya, it's like I get inspired. Like that much of like voice and genius in these people really like make me hope for the future of our next generation. Like I'm very optimistic and positive. The most important thing about innovation is like fall in love with a problem. So if you have a problem in this world that you want to solve and you fell in love with it, then you will start discovering different solutions. And why is this so critical? Because if you start from the solution and the idea, like, which is normally a lot of times like the solution, so idea is like has two parts, right? The problem that we are solving and the solution. In the idea piece, which is very important, you focus on the problem, because a lot of time we, especially like the ingenuity of humans, we get to focus on a solution, and then we want to work backward to find a problem for it, and that leads to sometimes solving a problem that should not exist at all, or solving a problem that is not that important. But if we start from a problem that humans have and we want to go forward to solve it, always good things come out of it.
Falling in love with the problem. That is just, yes, I think you've summed it up in an excellent way. What were maybe some of the problems that you fell in love with that led to Apply Board and now that have led to Passage?
Yeah, so I started building things when I was like 4 or 5 years old, and actually like my first device, quote unquote, invention that I sold was I was 10 years old. So it's not one problem that I can say. So every time like I was seeing something, I could invent something, I did. And small, I started doing so many things that it didn't matter, or it wasn't that a big of a problem, but the act of solving problems makes you a problem solver, and over time you can solve bigger problems. The problem that I'm solving right now, the last 8 years, is there are a lot of human beings, hundreds of millions of people around the world that must be in a university or higher education right now, and they're not. And the reason they're not, because in that country or region, there is no infrastructure, there are not good universities or colleges to teach these people. So a lot of them, the alternative for them is either study online or they go to another country like Canada, that we have more universities and colleges than even our domestic need, and is a great opportunity to bring brilliant people from other countries to come here. They get educated, and after that, if they meet the criteria, even host them in our country as immigrant. And this is exactly the way that I came to Canada. I wanted to study mechatronics. There weren't that many schools that they can teach mechatronics the way that I wanted. In fact, not a single one in Iran to the area that I wanted to get educated, and with that cutting edge technology. So I came to University of Waterloo for my master's degree. University of Waterloo was generous to give me $52,400 in scholarship. I came here, I studied for my master's degree, and then I decided to stay here and become a Canadian. And that's the beauty of things. So there's so many brilliant people around the world that would like to address that, to use that opportunity. And what we are building in Apply Board is to help them to find and match the best program for them, and they can apply to those programs. The only problem is only 5% of people are lucky to get a financial aid, and the other 95% must be self-funded, which limits this opportunity of study abroad to only the families that have the financial means to send their children abroad. But what if it was a solution that we can give it to all people? Like loans domestically, in for Canadians, we have loans that people can get, like things like OSAP, that they can get loan and they can go study, and after they finish their studies and they find a good jobs, they can pay back. But when it comes to international student, that doesn't exist. That's why I created the next company called Passage. And Passage is a platform that one of the main functionality of the platform is to provide loans for international students. So basically, if you are a brilliant person from other places and you want to come to Canada, but you don't have money, if you are coming here to study things like healthcare, engineering, or trades that our country have a lot of jobs for you, we would love to provide you the financial access to come here to study, go find a job, and then you pay back your loan.
That's incredible. I love both of the stories of Apply Board and Passage. And I think now more than ever, using education as a tool to bring the world together is definitely something that we can all use. I love how you talked too about how problem solving is kind of like a muscle. The more you do it, the better you get at it and the stronger you are at it. So starting at 5 years old, or even starting at any time in your life, the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. And I think we see with you, with Melissa, with a lot of the innovators that are in this incredible Ingenious Plus network, it's like one idea feeds another and feeds another and feeds another. And it's kind of like this chain reaction that just keeps going and going. And I think that that's what we see, this spark that we see in young people like Thivya and our other national award recipients, that they have that spark, they have that kind of chain reaction type thinking. So that makes us so excited to see what's going to happen in the future. What do you think would be, now that you've kind of been in the Ingenious Plus realm for a little while, what can you see is the advantage for young innovators who want to apply and get involved? How do you see a program like Ingenious Plus helping them?
So I wasn't grow up in Canada, but in Iran, I grew up, and I was always like, since high school, I was attending all these programs like this program. The best thing about it is kind of a self-discipline, right? You have a deadline to meet, you need to show the result, and that discipline later on in your life become very, very handy. Number one. Number two is the courage to present to the world, this is my idea. To give you a sense, in high school, I was competing for something called Khwarazmi Youth Festival, and it was like a invention festival for all the inventors to compete. And I failed 4 times before I win. Every year I was going with an idea. I was getting some prize, but I wasn't getting the national award. And finally, on the 4th year for my fifth invention, I became the second in the whole Canada, in the whole Iran. The last, but what right now I'm so grateful is the 4 failures that I have, because that 4 failures once taught me discipline, taught me real world competition. Because when we are young, we are in the bubble of our family and our school, and we don't understand how many smart, brilliant, hungry people are out there that competing. So these things, like, it helps you to go out and calibrate yourself and give yourself a discipline and give yourself like timeline and being able to courageous to present yourself. It's not only about building it, it's also now presenting it and collaborating with other people. It opens a lot of doors to you, because now after you get recognition, you can go to places and now it's your category. And like, you don't need it to like just feel good about yourself. You need it to open the next door, and with the next door you build the next big problem, you solve the next big problem, and you go one step, and you're not one step. Is a path that never stops, right? So every stop you solve a big problem, you get some recognition, and you move forward to even a bigger problem, if you choose that is the word for you. So I highly recommend to all the people to attend. A lot of times our education is built for you to just pass, right? Pass and excel. Like, we don't fail in our courses when we are 10 years old. So we don't learn how to fail in the normal K to 12 classes. But programs like this is the first opportunity for people to get a sense of a failure in a national level, and that failure are priceless. So I congratulate to all of the students that competed and actually did not win the award, and they fail, because now they have that in their experience. And not only they should not scare of the failure, they should try again and try other competition and go till win. Remember, in our life, sometimes one win is more than enough. So we don't need to win every single thing. Sometimes one win is more than enough, because you can win something very, very big. So I love these competitions. Always is good for building characteristics.
Okay, so fall in love with the problem, flex your problem solving muscles, and they will get bigger, and be grateful for your failures. These are like the big 3 nuggets of wisdom that I'm taking away from our time today. Martin, you are always just such a wealth of incredible advice and so much generosity. And I just think I love to see how our winners have benefited from you just offering your time, offering to look at their ideas, offering to chat and talk things through. And I think that it's so important, as Melissa was saying, networking within the innovation ecosystem is such an incredibly valuable tool. And it takes a two-way street. So we really appreciate that you're such a champion for the next generation to come. So thank you so much.
No problem. And if I may finish with one thing, so to whoever you're listening me, especially you young, amazing people, stay positive. We are living in a world that there are so many things to be grateful, and there are some things to be upset about. The future that you make for yourself is really depend on where you look. If you stay positive, if you feel great, if you feel grateful, if you focus on the goodness of the world, you always have the positive attitude to go and solve the problems of the world. But if you stay only negative and you think about the bad things, you don't even have an energy to solve the bad things, to turn it good for other human beings. So by staying positive, you can always solve the things that you don't like this world, because guess what? The biggest gift we have is we are gifted our life, an opportunity to solve the problems that other human beings has and make it for the next generation, making it nicer, better, for a better life, and change the world.
Okay, well, you just made my whole week. I feel very, very uplifted by those words. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Thank you so much for everybody who's joined us, to Thivya, to Melissa, to everybody who's out there joining us on YouTube, and to our classrooms who are with us. Thank you so much. This has been incredible. Ingeniousplus.ca. The time to get involved is now. Applications are open until February 22nd. So get started. And we can't wait to see this year's cohort of, as Martin says, not only winners, but also just people who are brave enough to put their hand up and participate. So again, I'm Jill Clark with the Rideau Hall Foundation. Thank you so much for being with us, and we'll see you next time.